Good evening, those of you that are just joining us. Audience is growing steadily. Just going to let a few people filter in and then I'm going to invite our guest for the evening. I hope you can all hear me all right. This is very exciting. We have Mr. Josh Dunlop waiting. He's here. Okay. This is my first Insta Live, guys, so don't judge me for everything going wrong. I'm going to invite Josh in now. Here he is.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
My guy. Let me just readjust my face is in a bit better. Here we go.
Is it all working? It's a little bit slow on my end.
Yeah, I can see and hear you perfectly, bud. How's it going?
For some reason, I do apologise, everyone. My phone is running a little bit slow.
That's all right. I think we can hear you pretty good. Well, I can hear you pretty good. I think there's a little bit of lag, but you know, that's live, isn't it? You've got to deal with these things. Oh, the spinning wheel of death on Josh. Classic live situation going on. Let's see if he returns to us at some point. There's a few people filtering in now. Hello, gang. Hello. Hopefully, Josh will rejoin us imminently. Classic live situation. He's had some Wi-Fi issues, and he's off. You hopefully won't have to deal with just me this evening. We'll get Josh back once he's fixed his Wi-Fi. Hello from Chile. Love it. And yeah, we'll get Josh on. But whilst we're waiting for him, hopefully he'll rejoin very soon. I'll just take you through what we're going to do this evening. So thank you so much for tuning in on the Pangea Instagram account. We're extremely excited to bring you our first live chat. It is with concept artist Joshua Dunlop. He will be with us really soon. Hopefully he'll sort out his Wi-Fi. Oh, he's back in. I'm just going to invite him in. Bear with us, gang. Bear with us. Here he is in another room. Hopefully, we've got Wi-Fi.
Yeah. No, it was my Wi-Fi. It was like I had 4G upstairs and it just completely dropped out. So I came back.
No worries, man. No worries. Just classic live stuff, isn't it? Just got to roll with it.
Yeah.
So I was just telling the people that have just joined us that we are really excited for them to join us over on the Pangea Instagram account. This is the first live we're doing as Pangea, and actually the first live that I'm hosting. So it's scary and exciting.
Yeah.
And it is with none other than the concept artist and brains behind the original Pangea concept, Josh Dunlop. Hello, mate.
Hello.
This is actually really nice for us because we haven't had a chance to have some FaceTime recently. We've been insanely busy.
Yeah. Been absolutely mental. But it's great catching up with you.
Yeah, it's nice. We'll just catch up with a load of people watching.
Yeah, exactly.
So I actually wrote a little introduction for you here, like we're on proper live telly. So
go on, I love it.
So you can tell me how I do, and if there's any misinformation, just blame the internet. So for those of you who've just joined us, I am talking to Josh Dunlop, who is a London-based illustrator, concept artist, and creature designer. He started doing Pokemon Zoology back in 2016.
Yeah.
2016. With the original start of Pokemon, and has since had his photorealistic reimaginings of Pokemon adored throughout the internet and the world. And obviously you have lots of other stuff going on as a professional concept artist, and I know a lot of that stuff you can't always talk about because of ghastly NDAs. But yeah, Pokemon's not the be all and end all, but I think it's probably where a lot of your followership came from originally. Josh, would you say?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think, I mean, I've got a fantastic fan base, and it's all come from Pokemon, really. But the great thing is that I've been able to expand and do some of my own projects, and got a lot of love and support for them as well. Pangea being one of them, and
absolutely,
yeah, it's been great.
And that's why we're here tonight. That's what we're going to dive into in a sec. Just whilst we have people filtering in, I just want to do a bit of housekeeping. So we have launched our Kickstarter for Pangea. Those of you that know game development might go onto our Kickstarter and find that it's actually our initial goal. It's quite a low one, especially for an MMORPG. But if you haven't had a chance yet to have a look around our Kickstarter, have a good look, have a good read at all the information. It's all up there, and the reason for why our initial goal is quite low. We basically just want to get a team of dedicated programmers on the project. Not something that we've been able to have just yet. We've had some really good programmers come in and out of the project, but as with always with these passion projects, and where no one's getting paid and no one's taking any money at the minute, people have to leave for other work opportunities and everything else. So have a good look around. Once we hit our initial goal, we're going to be introducing some stretch goals, which will then hopefully lead us to bigger and more wild and crazier things that the project has to offer. But we actually reached today our 20% mark. We just crept over the 20% mark, so that's massive. That's really awesome, and that's all down to the guys that are joining us tonight. So thank you so much. Please keep pledging. At this point, number of pledges is just as important as hitting our goal, because we want to prove to publishers that there is an appetite and an audience for the game, which we know by all the awesome comments that we get on Instagram and on our social channels. There is that appetite. We just need to prove it now to publishers. So anything small pledging to Kickstarter at this stage is a really good help, because it just proves to people that there's an appetite for it. Also on the Kickstarter, you'll be directed to all our other social channels, and our Discord community is popping off in there at the minute. You need to get in there, because all of the content that we share online goes in there first, and everyone gets an exclusive look at it, and they can sort of chat about it before it goes to the masses. So follow the Discord invite link. So we're going to dive into some stuff about the project, about Pangea Beyond Extinction. If you have any burning questions for me or for Josh specifically, please put them in the comments. I've got a wonderful team in the wings who are going to send me some of your questions and comments, so I don't have to keep track of the comments, but there's someone dedicated to that. So I will keep tabs on that, and we will get through to some of your questions eventually. We'll probably chat for like 15-20 minutes, because next Thursday, if all goes well, we're actually going to do a longer version of the chat. We're going to do a YouTube stream, which will be a private link, a private stream for those who have backed. So if you want to be a part of that bigger chat with some surprises and some exclusive reveals coming through, all you have to do is go into Kickstarter, pledge £1, and then you get the link. It's literally as simple as that. Anything from now, if you've already pledged, or if you pledge between now and next Thursday, whatever it is, you'll get the link to a longer, more exclusive chat with Josh. Awesome. So that's all the housekeeping out of the way. Now we can talk about the exciting stuff. So Josh, I came to your channel ages ago through Pokemon. Obviously, I was scrolling through the discovery page, and because I'm still a massive Pokemon fanboy at heart, your pictures popped up for me, and I went through to your channel and followed you from then, and I've been fanboying all of your work for a long time. And then one fateful day happened where you put up this incredible concept of a samurai looking dude next to a Utah raptor, and we're inviting people to a Discord to develop a concept for a game. So talk to us about like the origins. Why did that start? Why did you post that picture? Where did it come from?
Yeah, well, so I mean, you can tell from the kind of stuff that I make. I'm a massive dinosaur fan. Have been since I was a kid, and back in 2020, obviously it was a dark time for a lot of people, and a lot of people were struggling, including myself, financially and just emotionally. I think at the time,
For sure.
and I wanted to find something that I could kind of pour some creativity in, but then also kind of offer it out to my fan base in a way of kind of like more like, not in like a concrete way, like initially it was more just kind of like a concept. It was just like, hey, this is an idea that I've had, like a world with dinosaurs and humans together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's kind of like sandbox it and just play with ideas and kind of like have fun with it. So it was never really meant to be a game initially. and all of my kind of inspirations for it came from lots of different sources, but mainly a set of books that I adore, probably literally my favorite books ever, called Dinotopia by
Yes,
the
the
incredibly
master,
talented James Gurney.
the
Uh,
master James Gurney.
yeah, I actually have all of the books signed by him. So I was
Amazing.
just like 100% a big fanboy on James's part. But I loved the world that he created, which is kind of a peaceful utopia between humans and dinosaurs. And I'd never actually it did. I think it got turned into a TV show at one point,
Mm.
but I'd never seen anything like that, and I still hadn't. And there'd been things that kind of touched on it in the gaming industry. I think Ark Survival Evolved kind of got to it, but I feel like Ark was a very stylized, like
Yes.
futuristic kind of thing, and they allow themselves to be, you know, to branch out and have kind of sci-fi elements and all this kind of stuff mixed in. But I've always been a really big fan of like the old school medieval, like high fantasy kind of games and stuff.
Mm.
And it kind of surprised me that nothing like that really existed. So yeah, I wanted to kind of come up with this loose idea for this game, and so many people, including yourself, came along and were like, yeah, no, this is great, like we should do something with it. And we were all just kind of spitballing and everything like that in the Discord, and then some very, very talented people started coming on board in different areas who were basically saying we should actually make a game, we should actually do this. And yeah, that's kind of where it was born. And we you know went through and found the most talented people to work on different areas. And we ended up working together in the narrative direction.
Yeah.
And very talented man, this guy Connor. His
Stop
writing
it.
is absolutely fantastic. um, which is why you're heading things up now, because you have the vision for it, exactly what I envisaged right from the beginning. But yeah, that's kind of where it all kind of came from. And for the whole of 2020, and that was early 2020, I think, when we
Mm.
started doing that. I think it's
Yeah.
like April time or
Pretty
something like that.
much as soon as things got locked down, right,
Yeah,
and lots of jobs were drying up, and we had to find a way of having a creative outlet.
exactly. And yeah, we just worked really, really hard for like a year on
Mm.
it through the whole of 2020. And it got to the point where, unfortunately, I had to step back because the work started coming back in again.
Yeah.
Really big opportunities started coming in, and stuff I couldn't ignore. And I can't talk about it. Really, it's killing me.
Are you sure?
Can't talk about it. And one day I will. One day I'll get from out under those NDAs. But yeah, it got to the point where I kind of had to step back, and that's when we talked, and I said, do you want to kind of take the reins and keep running with it? And yeah, you've done an excellent job. Like truly, really, really wonderful job.
We've been so blessed with the amount of creative people and talented game developers and digital artists and all sorts of people that have come forward and wanted to be a part of the game. But that's testament to the original concept. You managed to capture something like, I think, James Gurney did with Dinotopia, that's slightly different. And I know, obviously, we'll be the first to say Pangea is very derivative of what James Gurney did with Dinotopia, but it is a bit different. It isn't the sort of full Metal Gear, sci-fi crazy mechanics. And there's something quite just quite nice about it, actually. Like, it is a utopic thing, and of course Pangea is going to come with extreme drama and crazy narrative and everything, but we wanted, I think, in the beginning, actually just to create something that was just quite beautiful, full of game mechanics, but also had a real heavy journey to it as well. Which is what sets RPG apart from every other game genre.
Exactly.
I think that was what was nice when we started talking about it. We immediately kind of clicked into what the look and feel of the game was, and I was really chuffed that just from our early conversations, and that was the first time we ever spoke, was speaking about Pangea.
Yeah.
We just seemed to be on the same page about it, about what it should look like, what it should feel like, and this was before we knew that it was ever going to really materialize into an actual game. And as you said, we had a lot of people working really hard to just conceptualize and bring meat to the bones of the idea for like the whole of 2020.
Yeah.
And then there was a bit of a turning point, I think, 2021, as you said, like work started coming in. We had to say goodbye to a lot of talented people. We said hello to lots of different talented people.
Yeah.
The face of the team kind of changed, and we went, right, look, we can have fun. We can carry on doing this and just have fun, or we can kind of try and have fun whilst creating the thing as well. Otherwise, we're kind of just going to constantly be in this cycle of having to say goodbye to team members and new team members coming in, and sort of probably the face of the game at that point changing.
Definitely. And I mean, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's like when you're working on a project that is, there's no money involved. It is just it's a passion of love and hard work and everything. But life gets in the way, and you can't keep going on that. And it does get to the point where you have to kind of decide, like, how are we going to proceed with this? How is this going to be a finished product? And it means looking for financial support.
Absolutely.
And with a project as big as Pangea, I think doing it in these stages is very important, because there's so many games that have come out, or over the last 2 years or so, probably longer, especially dinosaur games, where teams have like gone straight in and really like gone in hard, which is incredibly admirable, but it ends up burning out like after a while, because there isn't that kind of like process, there isn't that kind of like understanding of what needs to be put in place and everything like that. And that's nothing on the teams that didn't end up making these games, but because they were all incredibly talented people. But I feel like rather than going in and being like, we need $1 million straight off the gate, and we're going to make this amazing game, is like I feel like that kind of one overpromises a little bit, but then also it means that there's a huge amount of pressure on the team then, like immediately. Whereas actually having this thing going like, well, we know where the money needs to be spent, and we know where it's most important. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this step first. Once we have that, we can get the skeleton of the game set up. And we move on to the next step. And I think it gives it more, I don't know, kind of like more meat to the bones, if that makes sense. Just kind of like you can kind of work up to it. But you're
not running before you can walk, and as you said, like, it's extremely admirable for any indie team to take on any game of any size, right? But like, let's be real, we set out to make an MMORPG. That was the concept of Pangea. We felt like it wouldn't work as well in any other way, and we kind of like, we're sticking to our guns on it.
We really did try that. We like really explored loads of different. We're like, we're going to go for a first person, like single player, it's going to be a linear thing. And just everything was just like, it's just not going to be as good.
It just doesn't feel as good. Completely. But that's, I think that the proof was in the pudding when we started putting concept out there as a unified sort of social channel, and people immediately started to react and respond well to it, and continue to do so. And now I think it's just a case of sort of trying to transfer all of the great community we have on social channels into our Kickstarter page, and just get us to that first little step. For those of you that have joined and haven't been here since the beginning, we were talking earlier about at the minute just the need to have a really small dedicated team of programmers on the team. So we've got anywhere between 15 and 20 people working on the game at any given point. People come and go because of work opportunities and everything, but beyond the talent that we have there, the dedication is insane. Like, I think it takes a lot of cojones to look at the the task ahead when it comes to developing an MMORPG. And there will be a lot of people out there that go, an indie studio can't do it. Ultimately, they can't do it. And I understand why there are naysayers, especially as you said, when there's been some teams that haven't managed to fulfill promises. It gives others a little bit of a bad name. But I think doing talks like this and showing the community that there are real people behind it. We've been there since the beginning. We're really dedicated. We love the idea, and we love the idea of bringing it to them in a really real way. Hopefully it just sort of instills confidence in us. So just whilst we're chatting, I just want to remind people, please put some questions in the comments. Otherwise I'm going to be rambling at Josh all night, and he doesn't. I've already asked him all the questions there are to ask.
We're very skilled at rambling anyway, so
we can talk the hind legs off a donkey.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we want that dedicated team of programmers, and if we get that with our initial Kickstarter goal, hopefully, if all goes well, by next spring we'll have a vertical slice. And for the game development bods out there, you know what that is, and for people that aren't and just love their paleo stuff, a vertical slice is literally just a walk around of the game with a few of the core mechanics in place. So it will be playable content. We'll have our first slice of playable content by next spring, but it won't be something as full and extensive as a demo or an alpha or a beta. In fact, it will just, as it says, it's just a little slice of playable content. But once we have that, our chances of going to publishers and proving ourselves to them grows exponentially. You know, we start to we start to prove ourselves. We start to actually have playable content that people can get a hold of and experience. I've just had a question. I didn't realize this was a thing. There's an actual question and answer function on Insta Live. So Selena,
learning, aren't we? Learning on the fly.
I know, we're learning on the fly. It's amazing. So Selena said, really, really good question. Will there be a storyline in the game? So I'll just tee this one up and you can run with it, mate. So we were adamant right at the beginning. The first thing that me and Josh spoke about when I came to him after I learned that he was developing it was like, I want to be involved with something that's like full of story, full of narrative, full of journey. And as we said earlier, that's what sets, in my opinion, really good MMORPGs apart from other genres. So that was our first conversation, Josh, right? We were me and you and I, whilst other like incredible team members were talking about coding and you know, digital art and what things should look like, we were just talking about narrative and who was, you know, what was playable and what journeys they'd go on.
Exactly. Yeah, it was, I mean, that for me was some of the funnest days when we were working on it, just literally just like going, oh, then these people can do this, and then they live here and they have these creatures and these dinosaurs that do this and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And we'd talk for hours and hours and hours just going through it all. But yeah, you're very right. From word go, my goal was like, whatever this ends up being, whether it's a game or whatever, there needs to be a strong underlying storyline there. There needs to be characters that you care about, that you believe in, that sell the world. You know, I don't want it to be like a kind of, oh yeah, there's some random people and happen to have dinosaurs. I want there to be like, well, who are the characters in this village? Like, what are their relationship to thing? Are they you know, hunters? Are they farmers? Are they like, what's the trade? Where's all this going stuff? And for it to bleed into a wider world, and for it to have a you know, a kind of like a flow and a river essentially of narrative that you can follow, that branches out into loads of different areas. And yeah, and I think you and I, but then along with everybody essentially in the team. Quick shout out to everyone in the team. You're fantastic.
Huge shout out.
Fantastic. It when I had to step back, it did kind of break my heart a little bit.
I know, it was a horrible conversation we had.
Yeah, I really miss everyone, miss all of you. But yeah, like everyone brought something to the table, and I think that was kind of like the glue that held everything together, was the fact that it wasn't just like one person leading the team. I mean, like, obviously I was the kind of the creative director, I guess. And I did kind of, you know, steer the ship a little bit, but I've always been open to ideas and to have people get involved and stuff, because I've never understood a creative process where somebody kind of digs their heels in and goes, no, it's my way, this is how we're going to do it, because it's like, well, you're missing enormous opportunities and amazing creative ideas if you're like that. So yeah, I've always been open to working with people in as much as possible.
And that was, the proof's in the pudding. When you see the work produced, you can see that approach run through it. It takes good creative takes a community, and that's what it feels like. I think with our team, it really does. We're a bit of a dysfunctional family. We're across time zones. We're all over the globe. We argue, we disagree, we laugh, we go delirious, but it's
the hangout section of the Discord is just mental, absolutely mental. But it's great. I loved it.
But just to finish off Selena's question, so to answer in short, Selena, yes, there is heavy, big narrative. It's one of the top priorities of the game. We actually looked at, really early on. We looked at what scientists have theorized Pangea, the supercontinent that originally existed before all of our continents got split up, what it looked like, and quite visually striking. It actually resembled a sort of crescent moon. And that immediately struck a chord with us. I think we thought we could have a lot of fun with this, and we can permeate it through the narrative. So if you guys haven't seen our Kickstarter launch film yet, go and take a look at it. At the in our bio, there's all the links. And
go pledge now.
Go pledge now. But there is, in our Kickstarter launch film, there's a few hints actually to what the narrative it can sort of how it can take shape. And there's an exclusive look at all the what we call ancestries. All the playable ancestries are going to be called and where they live on the map. Obviously we'll start small, and when it comes to the demo, there'll be one playable civilization, but hopefully, if with your guys' continued support, we can grow and grow and grow and just keep adding amazing things to the game. So I think we've had a lot of listeners and not a lot of question askers, but that's fine. Selena, you get a massive gold star for your narrative question. But what we don't want to do is fill up all the time tonight anyway, because we've got a longer chat coming to you guys, to the community next week. It's going to be an exclusive chat. There's going to be a private link. And anyone that's backed between now and then and previously, backed already, you will get the link to this chat between Josh and I, and we'll go into some real detail about Josh's methods, about his approach to concept art, about our approach to Pangea, how things have come around. You'll get exclusive insights into the project and into the game. But we have been really chuffed to have this chat with you guys tonight, to show you that there are real people behind this project that are really passionate about it and really dedicated to bringing you the game. So as I said at the start, any small amount right now on our Kickstarter helps us get to that initial goal, and will help us get programmers in the team, which will then help us deliver you guys a vertical slice. So I think that's probably all we've got time for tonight, because I want to share, I want to save a lot of it for next week on our exclusive chat. Sure. But Josh, is there anything else you wanted to cover before we say goodbye?
No, just go and pledge. Just throw your money at this. It's there's some really talented people, really hardworking people behind all of this, and I want to play it. Do you know what I mean? That's where it comes down to. I want to be able to play it. Sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So go watch our Kickstarter video. Go follow us on YouTube. Go join the Discord community. Keep sharing our stuff. If you can't pledge, just share. Just give us a share and give us a like, and keep sharing our work, because that gives us a huge morale boost for us, and we love to hear from you. So yeah, that's it for tonight. Join us next week when we send out a private exclusive link for a chat to everybody that's backed us so far. Josh, thank you, man. As always, it's awesome talking to you. I hope we get to actually catch up in real life real soon. Sure. But stay safe, mate, and best of luck with everything.
All right, you too. I'll see you soon.
Dude. Bye.
Bye.